How to make spam musubi and onigiri. First off, gather up our ingredients. We need shoyu, cooked rice, mirin. You can also use sherry or you can just omit it. We also need oil, spam, sugar, and sushi grade nori. First up, we're going to make the spam musubi. Like other places in the Pacific with a heavy American military presence, such as American Samoa and Guam, spam has become a staple food in the diets of many people living in Hawaii, and is probably one of the most recognizable food symbols of the islands. The musubi part comes from the influence of Japanese immigrant laborers that came to Hawaii by the tens of thousands in the late 19th and early 20th centuries to work on the sugar plantations. Spam musubi are the ultimate portable snack. We typically enjoy these on trips to the beach, at potlucks, while spectating at sporting events, or really just whenever. Okay, back to the action. After you cut your spam into equal pieces and heat your oil on medium-high, let it get hot, and then add your spam into the pan. It's going to cook on one side for about 3 to 4 minutes. You'll be able to tell when it's this nice golden brown color. Yeah, just like that. Flip it over, and the next side actually cooks a little bit faster, so it's only going to be about 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, after it's done to your satisfaction, that looks pretty good. We're going to put it on the side on a paper towel lined plate and just let that rest for a while we turn off the heat. While the pan is still hot but the heat is turned off, we're going to make our sauce. So 2 tablespoons of shoyu or soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of mirin. You can also omit this again if you don't have it, or you can use sherry. And we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar, and immediately you're going to use your chopsticks or a wooden spoon and you're going to mix that until it's all nice and incorporated together. So when everything is mixed together and it becomes this nice syrupy consistency, we're going to reintroduce our spam, flip it around, jostle it a little bit, make sure everything is nice and coated in the shoyu sugar sauce, and then we're going to set that aside for a little bit. Alright, that looks awesome. So we're going to set that on the side and get started on the next step, which is the molding process. So this pink thing is actually a spam musubi mold, but if you don't have it, I'm going to teach you how to do it with just the spam can and plastic wrap. So we're going to roll out a piece of cling film that's approximately the size of the cutting board, I would say. Tear that, which is always really difficult for me for some reason. And then we're going to just push that down with our fingers until it reaches all of the crevices at the bottom of the empty can of spam. Perfect. Now we're going to add our cooked rice to our mold. I'm using about 2 spoonfuls for the bottom part, and using the back of the spoon or even your fingers, just smush that down to the bottom so that it's nice and compact. Alright, once you're satisfied with that, we're going to add our spam, which has already been cooled so the rice won't fall apart, back into its can. See how that fits perfectly. And then we're going to top that off with 2 more spoonfuls of rice and do the same thing, kind of smush it or pat it down with the back of the spoon or your fingers. Alright, and now we're just going to gather up the top of the cling film and pull it right out of the can. And there are the contents of our spam musubi. Time for the last step, which is to wrap your musubi in nori. So this nori that I got already came in this size of slice, but you can get a larger sheet and just use kitchen scissors to cut it into your desired width, using a little bit of water to make sure that it sticks nicely. And yeah, that looks perfect. Alright, let's make a vegan vegetarian version. We're going to make traditional Japanese onigiri with ume boshi filling. Ume is a type of plum. It has kind of a big seed, so I like to de-seed it and just use the fleshy, meaty part of the plum. So I have a little bit of warm water in my bowl. We're going to coat my hands in that and then add a little bit of sea salt. Once my hands are coated with warm water and sea salt, I'm going to grab the rice and start to shape it into kind of a patty shape, using my thumbs to make a well in which we are going to add the ume. Alright, after the ume is stuffed in, we are going to encase it in our rice, and then this is kind of the tricky part. You just want to shape it into a triangle-like shape, kind of rotating it in your hands back and forth. I'm not very good at it yet. My grandma is very good at this, and I hope that one day I will master it as well. Alright, and once again, our last step has to do with nori. So this piece is about half the size as the one we used for the spam musubi, but I'm still going to put some water on it so it's nice and sticky. Place the onigiri right in the middle, and yeah, now you have a cute little handle so that your hands don't get rice on it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you and your family enjoy these recipes.